Hey everyone, Tom here at Cerulean Bay, and I'm taking a break. And how am I taking a break? By doing this video. I'm telling you, I need a break. Today is July 29th, and I've just passed my 1 year anniversary since leaving my full-time position at the big energy company here, which shall rename nameless here in Houston. But I did leave a year ago because I had to strike out on my own. And in this last year, I got a lot done. So Cerulean Bay, for those of you who might not know, is actually about 6 years old. After leaving my position last year, Cerulean Bay has since grown into a website that's been completely redone, a series of blog posts, which I'm in the process of updating, creating a podcast, which we launched at the end of January of this year, starting a YouTube channel, which we just started in May. I've designed a tropical interior design course with a self-discovery assessment, which you heard me mention in our last show, which is now available online. And now I'm developing a newsletter, and it's something I've never done. I'm learning how to do it, but I've got the template designed and I'm using Kit, which is formerly ConvertKit, but Kit is very user-friendly for the non-tech people like myself. So yes, we've got a newsletter here, which is being launched any day. And yeah, it's been a lot. So I thought, you know what? I'm a little behind on my YouTube videos. I'm a week behind on my podcast. So here we are. I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know where things are at. Because I do think it's important for people to at least have a little bit of a behind the scenes, a little bit of a backstory to those who are asking for your trust and your business and your support. And obviously, in return, I'm really trying very hard to provide things of value when it comes to tropical design and tropical inspiration and how to create your own little tropical space at home in between those vacations you might be taking. I'm hoping that with the assessment, which really has you take a close look at yourself, it really makes you answer a number of questions, 69 questions to be exact, about what it is you love about the tropics. Why do you love the tropics? And it's one of those things where if you took a really amazing vacation, and whether that be in Hawaii or you're in Fiji or somewhere in Southeast Asia like Bali, and then you were to come home and people would ask you, well, what was it really that you liked? What was the best part about it? A lot of people kind of struggle with that. And they're like, okay, well, they're going to recount some fun stuff that they did or some cool sights that they went and saw. But, it's like, really, is that what drove you to go to Bali? Is that what really made you go to Fiji? Why Fiji? Why Hawaii? We get into those questions because when you really discover what it is that you love about the tropics, and I mean everything about it, from just the colors and the sights and the sounds and everything else, these are things that you can basically make note of and use as inspiration so that when you do want to make those updates at home, you can think, hey, you know what? Maybe going in a tropical direction would really be a cool thing to do. And I highly encourage it because a lot of people think going tropical instantly means going heavy duty with the Hawaiian shirts and the tiki bars and all of this. And there are a lot of really cool elements about those things when you factor them in correctly that, yeah, you can create a cool tropical escape at home using those. But for people where that's not really their vibe, that's not their jam, it's like you don't have to do that. You can just take some really cool colors or just some inspiration, maybe something from plant life or animal life, or maybe some activities that you really like to do. For people that are into diving and fishing, or maybe you went there to go surfing or just doing some simple snorkeling in a lagoon, you can take elements of that back to your house. Well, by doing the self-discovery assessment, you really take a good look, as I said, about what it is that you love about the tropics. And then you look at the spaces that you have available at home, whether it's just one particular room, or you're going to maybe do a couple rooms, or maybe the whole house. And what is it now that you're using those rooms for? What's your current lifestyle? I really help walk you through your current scenario. How are these spaces being used? What is your life currently like? Who's currently using these spaces? What are your aspirations for them? Are they even possible? And we get into the whole budgetary aspect of it. We have you do a whole before scenario where you're mentally walking through this space before, and then kind of creating what it is you would do if it was no holds barred. You could do anything you wanted. What would you do to this space? And then as you move through the questions, we have you do that same exercise again to create an after picture. And then that helps to really reinforce, okay, these are the things I definitely love about the tropics. These are things that I thought were pretty cool, but I'd rather just leave them there. I don't need to see them in my house. This is something that I think is really cool, but it's way over the top and it's not possible with what I've got. Then there's the budgetary constraints. So we help you wrap all of that up. We walk you through the whole thing, all of the different aspects you may like or don't like. Then when you're done with the assessment, you've got that final picture that you can work with. And then from there, you can move into the home transformation guide, and that walks you through the actual steps. That is the how-to. That is your interior designer in written form that answers a lot of questions for you about how to do this and how to do that. And if you're going to do this, maybe you should do that. But if you do that, what about this? And we kind of help you connect the dots so that as you're moving through the 12 modules in the guide, you're not having to go back and redo stuff, because that is one of the biggest reasons why I really wanted to create this tropical guide, was so that after you have spent the time and energy and the money that you're doing this, that you're happy with the result. So the whole point of it is to take you through step by step within some certain guardrails that we establish for you. And that as you move through the different modules, by the time you're done, you have arrived at your tropical escape at home and you're like, this turned out better than I thought it would. And in the world of interior design, that really does happen quite a bit when you are either working with a really good designer, or if you are a DIYer, and whether or not you've got a good sense of color and art and form, that's what the guide is for. But we really help people to achieve more than they thought possible while saving time, saving money, saving energy. And a lot of the things that we talk about in the guide are things you can do on your own. Even if you're not a real DIY person, bring in a friend, bring in a family member to maybe help with some of those paint jobs, or just depending on how far you want to take things before having to call in somebody. Let's say, you're not happy with your floors and you do want to replace the flooring. That's something some people can do on their own. I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to hire in the people that do that every day because this is what they know how to do. So, there's nothing wrong with calling in the pros here and there to help, but you will have defined exactly where you're going to need help and what you can do on your own. All of it's going to be driven by your personal preferences, your budget, obviously, because professional help is not cheap. Good quality materials are not cheap. So after moving through that guide, whether you've done it all on your own 100% or you've got some help here and there, you are going to love what you did at the end of this transformation guide. So that was really the big thing that I wanted to share with you today. And I've got the links to the assessment in the course, as I mentioned in the notes for this video, but then also the release of the newsletter. I'm desperately trying to have this ready for launch on Monday. And in there, it's very informal. It's nothing super long. It's just going to give you some really cool tips and ideas for living the laid back tropical lifestyle. I want to be able to refer people to some really cool stuff out there, some really cool places to go. I'll feature some travel deals in there, or stuff that I come across. It's like, hey, other people need to know about this. Fiji Airways is having a sale, one way out of Dallas, nonstop to Fiji, and it's only $389 each way. That's a pretty good deal to get to Fiji. So I'll mention stuff like that. And then, just some cool design stuff that I come across, maybe some cool furnishing ideas, cool stuff about plants, because I love plants. We're going to get into the recipes and the cocktails. I've been wanting to share that with you guys for a long time, but there's only so many hours in a day. But there's a lot of cool stuff out there in the world of entertaining, and it doesn't have to be big, huge parties at your house. Unless you love to do that, awesome, totally wonderful to do that. But, if you just want to have a few friends over, or, you've got the family over or something, how to really do stuff in really cool tropical style without really creating a lot of work for yourself, just some easy shortcuts and some cool ways to do things. So we're going to have some cool info in this newsletter. I'll pass on any coupon deals that I might come across for some really cool stuff. And speaking of coupons, we do have $100 off on the home transformation guide. So the coupon code is Tropics100, and capitalize the T because that's how it is set up in the system. But yeah, Tropics 100 will get you $100 off on the home transformation guide, which is a really, really good deal, because if you really price out what interior designers are charging and then you factor in the costs of a lot of pros, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money. So this guide really, and now with $100 off, it really is a deal. So with that, I hope that gives you a little bit of an update of where I've been, what I've been working on. But yeah, a lot of the building up and just tweaking stuff and creating all of the initial foundation work, I think is largely done. And like I said, I need a break. So I'm ready to get back to the videos and the podcast because I love doing that. Love sharing the info that I have with you guys. You all are amazing out there. I really appreciate everybody that tunes into the videos and likes my channel and just tune in at Tropical Escapes at Home and, hang out here at the channel. Check us out in the little course. Then there's the website, ceruleanbay.com. We've got our little online store over there. And I actually got a few new pieces in from Fiji from a new wood carver that I'm working with. And I'm going to be featuring some of his work and just showcasing some of the pieces. I got some really cool warrior clubs in from several months ago that I just have not had time to get out to you guys, but I'm going to do that too. So, and I think just doing it in this format on video will really, really help. But yeah, I'm just looking to grow this little tropical community and actually get a community going online where we can just interact. We can share ideas. We can share before and after pictures of places that we're changing out at home. I'm a big believer in two heads are better than one. So you might have some cool ideas about what to share, and maybe that could really help someone else out. I'm a really big believer in helping other people out because, what goes around comes around. When you put good things out there, you get a lot of good things that come back to you. And at the end of the day, it's about the tropics, and the tropics are fun. And we just want everyone to have fun. And that's why people take tropical vacations. And hopefully that's why they hang out with me here. So anyways, that's it for today, folks. I'm going to get going on my podcast. You all take care, and I will see you guys again very soon.